The Silent Watchers. Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless before the quantum consciousness chamber, her reflection ghosting across its obsidian surface. Deep within the Ganymede Research Station, buried beneath kilometers of ice, humanity's greatest secret hummed with possibilities that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization, if they knew what to look for. The aliens wouldn't find it, of course. To their sophisticated scanning technology, the station appeared as nothing more than a primitive geothermal facility, the kind they'd seen humans bumbling with for the past 50 years since first contact. Their patronizing reports always noted how quaint it was that humans still relied on such basic energy extraction methods. Consciousness matrix stabilized at 98%, announced Dr. Marcus Rodriguez from his monitoring station. His dark eyes never left the stream of data flowing across his holographic display. Data that would make any alien scientist's head spin, if they could even perceive it. Ready for integration test, Dr. Chen. Sarah took a deep breath, smoothing her lab coat with hands that didn't tremble. Not anymore. After 15 years of work, the trembling had finally stopped. Proceed with neural link initialization. The chamber's surface rippled like black water, responding not to any physical mechanism, but to the collective consciousness of the research team. This was humanity's true path forward, not the brute force technological advancement that alien civilizations prized, but the subtle manipulation of reality through directed consciousness itself. The galactic community had laughed when humans kept requesting information about their neural interface technologies, dismissing it as primitive beings trying to grasp concepts beyond their understanding. They never suspected that humans were mapping the quantum patterns of consciousness itself, discovering that thought was more fundamental to reality than matter. Neural handshake in 3, 2, 1. Sarah felt the familiar sensation of her mind expanding beyond her physical form as the quantum link engaged. Through it, she could sense every member of her research team, their consciousness harmonizing into a greater whole. But today was different. Today, they weren't just linking with each other. The prototype ship waited in the hangar above, its hull designed to look like yet another clumsy human attempt at replicating alien technology. But its true nature was something no alien race had ever conceived, a vessel piloted not by computers or traditional controls, but by the directed will of its human crew, their merged consciousness capable of manipulating spacetime itself. Ambassador Torres is addressing the Galactic Council now, Marcus reported, his thoughts carrying through their shared mental space. They're still debating whether to revoke our probationary membership status. Apparently, our continued technological stagnation is becoming an embarrassment to the more advanced races. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Let them think humanity was stagnating. Let them believe humans were struggling to grasp even basic principles of faster-than-light travel. Every dismissive report, every patronizing offer of help, every diplomatic snub had been a gift, giving them time to perfect what they'd discovered. Initiating full-spectrum test, she announced, her consciousness expanding further into the ship's systems. The vessel responded not to physical controls but to pure thought, its quantum-entangled structure becoming an extension of human will. The first hint that humanity wasn't as primitive as they appeared had come 15 years ago, when Dr. Chen discovered that human consciousness operated on quantum principles unlike anything seen in other species. While alien races had mastered the manipulation of matter and energy, they'd completely overlooked the fundamental role of consciousness in the universe. Their mistake had been assuming technology could only advance in one direction, through increasingly sophisticated manipulation of the physical world. They'd never considered that a species might take a completely different path, might discover that consciousness itself could be the key to transcending physical limitations. Quantum field coherence at maximum, Marcus reported. No detectable emissions that would register on standard alien scanning technology. Through their shared mental space, Sarah felt the excitement and anticipation of her entire team. After decades of appearing to be the galaxy's backward cousins, humanity was ready to reveal its true capabilities. Not through brute force or technological supremacy, but through an understanding of reality that would fundamentally change how every species viewed the universe. "Begin final system check," she ordered, her consciousness flowing through the ship's quantum matrix. Soon enough, the galaxy will learn that sometimes the ones they laugh at understand things they never even thought to question. Above them, Ambassador Torres would continue playing humanity's role, apologetic, eager to learn, slightly embarrassed by their apparent lack of progress. And in research stations hidden throughout the solar system, other teams like Sarah's would continue their work, pushing the boundaries of what consciousness could achieve. The galaxy's laughter would stop soon enough. But for now, humanity would maintain its mask of technological inferiority, knowing that true revolution rarely announced itself with thunder and lightning. Sometimes it came quietly, in the silence of thoughts reaching beyond what anyone believed possible. Sarah Chen and her team continued their preparations, their merged consciousness humming with potential, while the galaxy remained blissfully unaware that they were about to learn the true meaning of human ingenuity. The revolution would begin not with a bang, but with the quiet realization that everything they thought they knew about technology and progress was about to change forever. Minds beyond matter. Admiral Diana Patel stood at the viewing window of Titan Command, watching Saturn's rings glitter against the void of space. Behind her, a holographic display showed the latest diplomatic disaster unfolding at the Galactic Council. The Arcturus Federation's representative was currently explaining, with excruciating patience, why humans couldn't be trusted with advanced propulsion technology. Their neural architecture is simply too primitive, the alien diplomat droned. They still think in linear patterns. Why, they haven't even mastered basic telepathic communication yet. Diana's lips curved in a subtle smile. If they only knew that at this very moment, she was linked with every crew member in the Earth Defense Fleet through quantum consciousness technology that made conventional telepathy look like smoke signals. Through the neural link, she felt Dr. Chen's presence before the scientist spoke. "Admiral, the Helios prototype is ready for its first coordinated test. We've integrated the improvements from last month's trials." Diana turned from the window, her consciousness simultaneously monitoring 30 different ships across the solar system. To any alien observers, these vessels appeared to be operating independently, each with its own crew struggling with outdated technology. In reality, they were all extensions of a vast neural network, their crews' merged consciousness able to coordinate with perfect precision. "Begin the sequence," Diana ordered, her thoughts reaching across space to connect with every ship commander. "Let's show our observers exactly what they expect to see: more clumsy human attempts at formation flying." The Earth Defense Fleet moved in what appeared to be a basic patrol pattern, occasionally making small course corrections that alien monitors would attribute to imperfect human piloting skills. But beneath this facade, something revolutionary was happening. Each ship's quantum consciousness core was synchronizing, creating a vast web of human thought that stretched across the solar system. While alien civilizations had mastered faster-than-light travel through brute force manipulation of space-time, humanity had discovered something far more fundamental: the ability to merge consciousness with machine, to transcend the boundaries between mind and matter. "Quantum coherence achieving critical threshold," Dr. Chen reported through the neural link. "Matrix stability at optimal levels." Diana felt the familiar expansion of awareness as her consciousness merged more deeply with the fleet. Through the quantum link, she could perceive reality in ways that alien science had never dreamed possible. Their focus on physical technology had blinded them to the true nature of the universe, that consciousness itself was the key to transcending physical limitations. "Remember when they offered to upgrade our neural interfaces?" Diana's executive officer, Commander Jack Torres, spoke through the link. "They were so concerned about our primitive synaptic processing speed." The memory rippled through the shared consciousness of the fleet. 5 years ago, the Arcturus Federation had presented Earth with their most advanced neural interface technology, certain it would revolutionize human thinking. The interfaces had been politely accepted, then quietly stored away in a museum of alien artifacts. They were crude tools compared to humanity's quantum consciousness tech, like offering an abacus to a civilization that had discovered quantum computing. Incoming transmission from the Arcturus observation post, a communications officer reported. They're requesting explanation for some unusual energy readings. Send them the prepared response, Diana directed. Blame it on irregularities in our reactor shielding. They love it when we make basic engineering mistakes. Through the quantum link, she felt the amusement ripple through her crews. Every mistake, every apparent technological failure, was carefully choreographed to maintain humanity's masquerade of primitive development. The aliens' own prejudices made it easy. They were so convinced of their superiority that they never looked deeper than their preconceptions allowed. Final phase of testing commencing, Dr. Chen announced. Preparing to initiate full consciousness integration across all platforms. This was the crucial moment. 30 ships and their crews, their merged consciousness reaching a level of coordination that no conventional technology could match. To alien observers, it would look like nothing more than a standard patrol exercise, performed with typical human imprecision. But through the quantum link, Diana experienced something transcendent. The boundaries between mind and machine dissolved completely. Each ship became more than a vessel. It became a thought given form, responding to the collective will of its crew with perfect synchronization. Integration successful, Dr. Chen reported, her satisfaction flowing through the shared consciousness. All systems operating at peak efficiency. We're ready, Admiral. Diana absorbed the data flowing through the quantum matrix. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't in building better engines or stronger weapons. It was in understanding that consciousness itself was the most powerful force in the universe. While alien civilizations focused on manipulating matter and energy, humans had learned to transcend the very boundaries between thought and reality. Well done, everyone. Diana broadcast through the neural link. Maintain current operations. Let our friends in the observation post keep believing they're watching primitive humans stumble through space. As the fleet continued its patrol, Diana reflected on the irony of their situation. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations, for all their technological prowess, had never questioned their fundamental assumptions about progress. They'd never considered that true advancement might come not from mastering the physical universe, but from transcending it entirely. Soon enough, they would learn the truth. But for now, humanity would continue its careful dance of apparent incompetence, knowing that their greatest strength lay not in the technology they appeared to lack, but in the power of unified human consciousness that no alien race had ever imagined possible. The Helios Initiative. The emergency alert rippled through the quantum consciousness network like a wave of ice water. In the depths of Titan Command, Admiral Patel's consciousness snapped to full attention as the data flooded in. The Nexus Empire, one of the galaxy's most militant species, had just crossed the Kuiper Belt with a fleet of 300 warships. They're not even trying to hide their intentions, Commander Torres reported through the neural link. Standard invasion formation. They're broadcasting demands for immediate human surrender on all frequencies. Through the quantum network, Diana felt the steady resolve of her crews, their merged consciousness, a steel wall against the approaching storm. The Nexus Empire was notorious for uplifting what they considered primitive species, by force if necessary. Dr. Chen, Diana thought spoke, her consciousness reaching across space to the Ganymede facility. Is the Helios Initiative ready? Sarah Chen's response came instantly through the link, tinged with both excitement and apprehension. All systems are optimal. The quantum consciousness cores in all ships are synchronized and stable. But Admiral, we've never attempted integration on this scale before. The Helios Initiative was humanity's ultimate contingency plan, the complete merging of every quantum-capable ship and crew in the solar system into a single vast consciousness. In theory, it would give them unprecedented control over space, time, and reality itself. In practice, no one knew exactly what would happen. Status update from the Galactic Council, a diplomatic officer reported. They're expressing deep concern about the Nexus fleet's presence, but say they can't intervene without proper deliberation. Estimated time for reaching a decision: 3 standard weeks. Diana allowed herself a moment of grim amusement. The Council's bureaucratic paralysis was legendary, and in this case, exactly what humanity needed. No witnesses, no interference, no one to see what was about to happen. Through the quantum link, she addressed every ship and crew member simultaneously. This is the moment we've prepared for. For 50 years, we've hidden our true capabilities. We've endured their mockery, their condescension, their helpful attempts to uplift us. Today, that mask comes off. The Nexus fleet was now passing Jupiter's orbit, their ships moving with the arrogant confidence of technological superiority. Their sensors would be showing them exactly what they expected to see: scattered groups of primitive human vessels with woefully outdated weapons and defensive systems. All ships, prepare for Helios protocols, Diana commanded. Dr. Chen, begin the integration sequence. The quantum consciousness network hummed with heightened energy as Sarah Chen initiated the procedure they'd rehearsed countless times, but never actually performed. Integration beginning. All crews, open your minds fully to the network. Let go of individual identity. We become one. Diana felt it starting. The dissolution of boundaries not just between mind and machine, but between individual human consciousness. Through the quantum matrix, hundreds of separate minds began merging into something greater, something that had never existed before in the history of the galaxy. The Nexus fleet's commander was broadcasting again, his tone dripping with patronizing superiority. Primitive humans, your resistance to proper guidance ends today. Your species requires direct intervention to advance correctly. Surrender now, and we will ensure your transition to proper civilization is minimally traumatic. Quantum coherence reaching critical threshold, Dr. Chen reported, her individual voice beginning to blend with the collective consciousness. Neural synchronization at 90% and climbing. The bridge between minds and ships is stabilizing. Diana felt her own identity beginning to merge with the greater whole, but maintained enough separation to direct what was coming. Through the vast connected consciousness, she could feel every ship, every crew member, every quantum-enabled system in the solar system becoming part of a single unified entity. Nexus fleet launching first wave of invasion forces, Tactical reported, the information flowing through the shared consciousness like blood through veins. Their weapons are powering up. They're targeting our major population centers. Let them come a little closer, Diana directed, feeling the anticipation building through the collective consciousness. Let them think their victory is assured. The Nexus ships pressed forward, their formation spreading out to envelop Earth's apparently primitive defense fleet. Their sensors would be showing them laughably weak shield systems, outdated weapons, and propulsion technology barely capable of interplanetary travel. Final stage of integration beginning, Dr. Chen announced, her consciousness now barely distinguishable from the whole. Helios protocols reaching completion in 3, 2, 1. In that moment, something unprecedented happened. The consciousness of every human crew member, every quantum-enabled ship, every linked system in the solar system merged into a single vast awareness. They became something entirely new, not merely a collection of minds and machines, but a unified entity that transcended both biological and technological limitations. Through this new, expanded consciousness, Diana perceived reality in ways that even humanity's most advanced theories hadn't predicted. Space and time became like clay in their hands, malleable and responsive to the collective will of unified human consciousness. The Nexus fleet was about to learn that they hadn't been approaching a primitive civilization in need of uplift. They had been advancing on something their vaunted technology couldn't even detect, a species that had transcended the very boundaries between mind and matter. The time for hiding was over. Through the vast unified consciousness of the Helios Initiative, Diana gave the command that would change the galaxy forever. Show them what humanity has become. Ripples of thought. Reality rippled like water as the unified consciousness of humanity exerted its will upon space-time itself. The Nexus fleet's first wave of missiles froze in mid-trajectory, caught in a quantum field that defied their understanding of physics. Through the vast shared awareness of the Helios Initiative, Admiral Patel felt the confusion rippling through the enemy ships. "Impossible," the Nexus commander broadcasted. Their defensive systems showed no sign of this capability. "All ships, full power to scanning arrays. Identify their technology." But there was no technology to detect, not in the way they understood it. The quantum consciousness network that united every human ship and crew member operated on principles that transcended conventional matter and energy. Where the Nexus Empire saw empty space, humanity's merged consciousness perceived an ocean of quantum possibilities. "They're attempting to penetrate our quantum field with standard sensors." Dr. Chen's thoughts rippled through the collective awareness. "Their most advanced scanning technology can't even detect what we're doing, let alone understand it." Through their shared consciousness, Diana directed the Earth Defense Fleet with perfect coordination. Ships moved in patterns that should have been impossible, their movements guided not by computers or human reflexes, but by the unified will of hundreds of linked minds. The Nexus fleet's formation began to break as their ships encountered phenomena their sensors couldn't explain. Space itself seemed to fold around human vessels, allowing them to appear and disappear at will. Weapons fire passed harmlessly through apparent targets, while solid matter flowed like liquid where human consciousness willed it. "This is your final warning." Diana projected her thoughts directly into the minds of the Nexus commanders, their supposedly shielded communications networks as open to quantum consciousness as clear glass. "Your understanding of reality is incomplete. Leave now, or witness capabilities beyond your comprehension." The response was predictable. A massive barrage of the Nexus Empire's most powerful weapons. Antimatter torpedoes, quantum disruptors, and temporal displacement bombs launched simultaneously, enough firepower to reduce a planet to atoms. Through the Helios network, Diana felt Dr. Chen's consciousness merge more deeply with her own as they prepared humanity's response. "Show them," their unified thoughts commanded. The laws of physics seemed to suspend themselves around the human fleet. The barrage of Nexus weapons didn't impact shields or armor. They simply ceased to exist, their matter and energy absorbed and redistributed through quantum fields shaped by human consciousness. "Impossible." The Nexus commander's thoughts radiated panic. "No technology can do this. No species at their level of development could possibly." "That's where you made your mistake." Diana's thoughts echoed through every Nexus ship. "You looked for technology. You never considered that consciousness itself could be the key to transcending physical limitations." The unified human consciousness reached out, not to destroy but to demonstrate. Around the Nexus fleet, space itself began to ripple and fold. Their ships found themselves in positions they hadn't moved to, their crew members experiencing moments they hadn't lived yet, their very reality becoming fluid under the influence of humanity's quantum awareness. Through the network, Diana felt the exact moment when understanding dawned on the Nexus commanders. Their sensors hadn't detected advanced technology because there wasn't any, at least not in the way they understood it. Every human ship was simply an extension of consciousness, every movement guided by thought, every apparent violation of physics achieved through the unified will of hundreds of linked minds. "How long?" The Nexus commander's question carried equal parts fear and awe. "How long have you been capable of this?" "Since before you first dismissed us as primitive," Diana responded through the quantum link. "Every patronizing report, every dismissed capability, every offer of guidance gave us more time to perfect our understanding. You were so convinced that advancement could only follow your path that you never looked deeper." The Nexus fleet hung motionless in space, their mighty weapons silent, their advanced technology suddenly seeming crude and limited compared to what they were witnessing. Through the quantum network, Diana could sense their crew members struggling to process what they were seeing, a supposedly primitive species demonstrating control over reality itself. The galaxy's laughter helped us, Diana continued, her thoughts carried to every Nexus ship. Your certainty that we were barely capable of interplanetary travel meant no one looked too closely at our research stations. No one questioned why we were so interested in consciousness studies. No one suspected that we had discovered something that made conventional technology obsolete. Through the vast connected consciousness of the Helios Initiative, Diana felt the resolution of her fellow humans. For 50 years, they had hidden their true nature, played the role of struggling newcomers to galactic society. That mask had served its purpose. But now, a new era was beginning. Return to your empire, Diana commanded, the power of unified human consciousness giving her thoughts the weight of physical law. Tell them what you've witnessed here. Tell them that the species they laughed at has transcended the very boundaries of reality. And tell them that the next fleet they send will discover exactly how far beyond conventional physics human consciousness can reach. As the Nexus ships began their retreat, their once proud formation now scattered and disorganized, Diana felt a ripple of satisfaction flow through the quantum network. Humanity had revealed its true nature, but this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn that consciousness, not technology, was the key to understanding the universe. Dawn of understanding. The emergency session of the Galactic Council looked nothing like the pompous gatherings of the past. Gone were the condescending smiles and barely hidden sneers. Now representatives from 100 alien civilizations sat in stunned silence as they watched the recordings from the Nexus fleets encountered with humanity's quantum consciousness network. Admiral Diana Patel stood calmly at the center of the chamber, her mind still connected to the vast consciousness of Earth's fleet through the quantum network. Dr. Sarah Chen stood beside her, their shared awareness sensing the turmoil in the alien delegates' thoughts. As you can see, Diana addressed the council. Humanity's development took a different path than what you expected. While you mastered the manipulation of matter and energy, we explored the fundamental role of consciousness in the universe. The council chamber erupted in a chaos of voices and thoughts. Species that had prided themselves on their technological superiority were suddenly faced with capabilities that defied their understanding of reality itself. This is unprecedented, the High Elder of the Council finally spoke, their color-shifting skin reflecting their agitation. No species has ever. Consciousness itself shouldn't be capable of. That's precisely why we succeeded. Dr. Chen interjected, her voice carrying the weight of decades of hidden research. You were all so certain about what was and wasn't possible that you never questioned your basic assumptions about the nature of reality. Through the quantum network, Diana felt the ripples of change already spreading through galactic society. The Nexus Empire's failed invasion had been witnessed by observers from dozens of species. The footage of human ships moving through space in ways that defied physics, of weapons dissolving into quantum probability fields, of reality itself bending to the will of unified human consciousness. It had shattered centuries of established beliefs about technological progress. We offer to share our understanding, Diana announced, feeling the surge of attention from every delegate. Not our technology. Because there is no technology, not in the way you think of it. We offer to share our knowledge of how consciousness itself can transcend the physical limitations you've been trying to overcome through mechanical means. The council chamber fell silent again, but this time the silence was filled with possibility rather than shock. Through the quantum network, Diana sensed the first stirrings of understanding in some of the younger species representatives. You never needed our help, a delegate from the Arcturus Federation realized aloud. All those times we offered to upgrade your ships, to improve your neural interfaces. We accepted your gifts graciously, Diana nodded, and learned from them in ways you didn't expect. Every piece of technology you shared showed us more about how consciousness could interface with physical reality. Your patronizing guidance gave us the freedom to develop without scrutiny. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her consciousness resonating through the quantum network with the accumulated knowledge of humanity's greatest breakthrough. The universe isn't just matter and energy, she explained. Consciousness isn't just an emergent property of complex neural networks. It's the fundamental force that shapes reality itself. You built increasingly powerful machines to manipulate the physical world. We learned to transcend the need for machines altogether. The implications were spreading through the council like ripples in a pond. Species that had devoted millennia to advancing their technology were suddenly confronted with a completely different path to understanding the universe. This changes everything, the High Elder declared, their voice carrying both awe and apprehension. The balance of power, the hierarchies of advancement, the very nature of progress itself. That's why we waited so long to reveal ourselves, Diana explained. We needed to be certain we could prevent any attempt to suppress or control this knowledge. The quantum consciousness network that protects Earth isn't a weapon or a shield. It's the combined will of humanity reaching beyond the physical limits you thought were absolute. Through the quantum link, Diana felt the satisfaction of her cruise across the solar system. The masks were finally off, the pretense of technological inferiority discarded. Humanity stood revealed not as the galaxy's backward cousins, but as pioneers who had discovered a truth that transcended conventional scientific advancement. We invite any species willing to learn, Dr. Chen offered, her consciousness reaching out to touch the minds of the assembled delegates. Not to copy our path. Each species must find their own way to understand the relationship between consciousness and reality, but to explore with us the true nature of existence itself. As the council session concluded, Diana felt the quantum network humming with possibility. The galaxy would never be the same. The species that had once laughed at humanity's apparent primitive nature were now confronting a future where consciousness itself was the key to transcendence. The dawn of understanding had arrived, and with it, a fundamental shift in how sentient beings viewed their place in the universe. Humanity had kept it secret until the perfect moment, and now that secret would transform galactic civilization forever. Through the vast connected consciousness of the Helios Initiative, Diana felt the unity of human thought and purpose. They had revealed their true nature not to dominate or control, but to show the galaxy that progress didn't always follow predictable paths. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs came not from building bigger machines or harnessing more powerful energies, but from understanding that consciousness itself was the key to unlocking the universe's deepest mysteries.